Hello again everyone, and welcome back to this Road Rash playthrough on level 5. Now, you can see there that I have the club. Now, this is the only weapon you can actually get in the first game. However, in Road Rash 2, you can get chains and all sorts of other things like that. You can also knock policemen off the bike. But that is something for the future, because for the moment, we're still on Road Rash 1. And we have to complete this first. Right, let's start off with a bit of housekeeping. In my last video, I mentioned a playthrough that somebody had done on YouTube, and I'd forgotten the name of that person, unfortunately. I'm very sorry about that. But I'm going to set the record straight here. His name is Amaranthus616. That's Amaranthus616, and I'm going to put a link to those videos in the description so you can check those out. Basically, he's done a playthrough right from the beginning, whereas I've started straight on level 5, cheated. He's actually done a playthrough all the way from the beginning, and for that, I salute him. Generally, I don't think you see many playthroughs of this game on the internet, because it requires a lot of brain power just to concentrate on the game, never mind talking over the top of it at the same time. Boom! And for this reason, if you're going to give this a try yourself, then I recommend doing as I'm doing here and recording the commentary afterwards. Although, yes, please do give it a go, because I'd love to see more playthroughs and commentaries of this game in general. A couple of tips then if you're planning to complete this game yourself. If you stay on the right hand side of the road, which is the correct side of the road in North America, you'll buy yourself a little bit more time to see whether there are any cars coming, because mostly the ones in the right hand lane, in fact always the ones in the right hand lane, are travelling away from you, and the ones in the left hand are travelling bang into you, and yes, most of the time they will travel bang into you. So if you stay on the right hand part, then you'll stand a little bit more chance, being the important factor in that. Here we're on Redwood Forest, which is the third of the 5 Road Rash races, and it isn't really one of the hardest. It's in the middle, I'd say. In fact, it's probably easier than the last 2, actually, strangely, even though there are a lot of the cows just lying randomly in the middle of the road. And as you can see, we're almost 6 miles in, still haven't crashed, which, yeah, it suckers you in like that. You get to the 6th and 7th mile before it starts getting really hard. The 2nd and 3rd checkpoints, well, they're not really checkpoints, but they're the previous finishing lines. Oh dear, those 2 cars there. Yes, level 5 throws those sorts of challenges at you without you noticing. And if you really want to get hardcore with this game, then I've actually seen an FAQ on GameFAQs which maps out what happens in each individual 1/10 of a mile, and where to turn at each point. Now, the only reason that I could think that that might be any good is if you're doing a tool-assisted speedrun or something, but I ain't remembering all that, dear. But I do recommend checking that out if you plan to complete this game, because it does have some valid tips. Even if you just skim over it, the vast majority is actually a list of everything that happens in each individual 1/10 of a mile, but it's still got 1 or 2 handy hints there, so take a look at it. What are you doing here, Paddy O'Shea? Get out of the way! Right, the best way to actually avoid those cops is to turn right at the last minute. Do a couple of taps on your directional pad, and you should get out of the way. But if you carry on in the same direction as you're going, then they can knock you off the road and wreck you, or at least bust you. Now, why don't those cops ever bust the other drivers, eh? I've seen all sorts of drivers fall off right next to cops, and they can carry on further up the road. I swear the computer cheats. It's nowhere near as bad as Super Mario Kart, where it feels as though the computer drivers are controlling you. but you get the feeling those cops have something against you in particular. Usually you don't see them knocking other guys off the road. Very rarely have I seen that, so dear. Well, it serves you right for going 140 mile an hour in a 35 mile an hour zone. Or is it kilometers an hour? Nah. Go, Stiggy, go! Leg it back to your bike! I like how your overalls and your helmet change colour according to which bike you're driving. It's almost as though you've been signed up for a better manufacturer, like Kawasaki or something, except Kawasaki doesn't seem to exist in this game. And I doubt illegal road racers would have sponsors. Or maybe not, I don't know. I don't know how these things work in America. Now we're getting to the stage of the race where it's getting all twisty and turny. Look at those trees. I love those digitally rendered trees. They're fantastic. Although, I think that's all you see of them, unfortunately. It does remind you of Super Hang-On. Though a couple of things in Super Hang-On betray its earlier release date. You can definitely tell that Road Rash has taken a lot of inspiration from that game. It seems to me that they took the concept and built on it, made it better in my opinion, as I just plough into the back of a car there. They made it better and improved on many things, such as the... Well, whilst I don't think the graphics are necessarily much better, the game suffers from less slowdown, I think, than its cousin. And it introduces these new things like obstacles in the middle of the road. Oof. And I do like some of the extra animations that they've added in, such as the guy scrabbling for his bike. You've seen that more often than I would have liked you to have. Then of course you've got the revolutionary fighting system, the hand-to-hand combat. It's not really something that you could do on your classic car racing game, unless you have arms the length of Stretch Armstrong. Yeah, if they were ever to bring Road Rash back, I would absolutely love to see different vehicles like cars and lorries and things where you can smash people through the windscreen and the side windows. How brilliant would that be? And I did hear that EA bought up the franchise, bought up the rights to the trademark again, so we may see that at some point. In fact, yeah, I remember seeing some demo footage of a possible comeback for the Road Rash series in 3D. I believe that was last year, but nothing's come of it since, so we'll just have to see what happens. Coming to the end here now, I don't think there's much chance of me catching Helldog and making a place better than third, but never mind. Third's enough. At least in my own brain it is. And in the game. Smash! There you go. If you haven't crashed over the finish line in Road Rash, then I can safely say you haven't lived. In fact, give it a go in real life. Well, actually, no, don't try that. Anyway, we'll see you in the next part.